Here's a Beyond the Pitch podcast quick hit from the WVSA Digital Network.
So this is a two-part answer. I think one of the realizations, so you mentioned, first-year attrition rate. And I would challenge anyone who's having that conversation to do as much as they can to go back to their assigners and get data on how many games these people are actually working. Because I think one of the big realizations that happen is a lot of young people, they want to get a job, they want to make some money, they become a referee, maybe they're a player, so it's an easy avenue for them to find a part-time job. But then the reality hits of no transportation, a practice schedule, a school schedule. I mean, they're already levered to the hilt on their schedule. So the reality is they have no time to ref. I mean, they meant well, they wanted to do it, but when rubber met the road, they can't do it. And so I think that's a realization. So I would challenge parents to have that conversation with their kids of, look, if you want to do this, there needs to be some level of commitment because it's going to take some time. But I think switching back to the message I was talking about of shifting how we approach refereeing, this goes all the way up the ladder. This is definitely a conversation parents can have with children, but it's every referee coach with referee, every administrator, every person can have this conversation. I would argue we would have substantially better referees if we had this conversation. And what I'm leading to is focus on the skill sets that make a referee a good referee. Like we talked about, the communication, the conflict resolution, the negotiating. Don't be a win-lose negotiator, be a win-win. How can we work together? Because arguably any referee in their career at some point is going to end up on a match that's over their head. If they're wanting to develop, even if they're not, they're going to get thrown in a match that they're over their head. And so if we focus on teaching them and training them how to negotiate, how to communicate, how to work with others, how to approach things as a win-win, they have a better chance of coming out of that match as a success, even if the level of play is massively above where they're at. And so the same conversation goes to a parent. Your child's engaged in this, they want to do this. Well, ultimately, they're going to have a better chance and enjoy it more and be more confident if you help them in the skill set they're going to need to do it. Help them communicate, help them understand how to, conflict resolute. But the one big factor that we really just can't change, and one of the reasons it's so detrimental to the referee community to have such a massive number of referees under the age of 18, is thus far in their life, they have been in an environment and in a relationship with adults that the adult is always the authority figure and they're always the person taking instruction. And when they become a youth referee, that flips on its head. And now they're supposed to be the authoritative and they're supposed to be telling an adult, you're out of line, you need to calm down, you need to act differently. And that's something they've never had to do or ever been trained how to do. So just simply having a conversation about what's an acceptable way to interact with that, what are some skill sets they can do to make it through that interaction, I think would help massively, because you don't want to undermine that and all of a sudden have, a community of teenagers that are just the world's at their fingertips and they don't listen to anyone. I don't think we would have that. But it's just a complete different dynamic than these kids have ever been in, and they don't know how to do it.